Only we are responsible for ourselves. If we're giving somebody else that responsibility, we're giving them the power to control our minds. Think about that. Then they have the power to make us feel bad about ourselves at the flip of a switch, which is what they've been doing. Whenever they feel bad and they need supply, all they have to do is make us feel bad about ourselves. That's control. We can talk about narcissism until we're blue in the face, but that is not going to give us new life. And that's not to say that talking about it and reading about it and watching videos on the matter isn't important. It absolutely is. This is step one, knowledge. Knowledge is key, getting informed. And while we're getting informed, we're being acknowledged. Acknowledge that what we're going through is real. And not being acknowledged growing up is what got us here in the first place. So yes, I recommend that you do keep watching these types of videos because they're going to continue to empower you. The brain needs to have patterns and repetition in order to form new concrete beliefs. I mean, how many times have you been made to feel that you weren't enough? Lots of times, lots of experiences. And so we need to keep watching these videos to help solidify what we're learning regarding this abuse. But we also have to undo certain patterns and beliefs that have been instilled in us in order to begin to breathe in new life. And the patterns, for example, can be your thought process. For instance, what thoughts do you initially think? What are the behaviors that keep repeating? What do you think upon awakening, for example? Oh no, not another day. Now, that right there is a pattern. And so just as understanding narcissism as step one to healing, step two is to understand how we function. And that starts with the brain. Now, the human brain is a complex and remarkable organ that constantly seeks to make sense of the world around us. One of its crucial functions is to process and assimilate new information, including beliefs and ideas, which is why giving yourself the space is so important, which is why looking at how you're feeling is crucial. However, the brain becomes more receptive to new beliefs and ideas when it's presented in a repetitive and pattern-oriented manner. Repetition serves as a fundamental mechanism for learning and memory formation. When we encounter new information repeatedly, our brain creates stronger neural connections, facilitating the encoding and retention of this knowledge. And this is because repeated exposure to the same material enhances our brain's ability to recognize patterns and solidifies the information as part of our existing mental framework. So for now, with the narcissist, you've had repeated exposure via patterns of intermittent reinforcement, for example, and this has led you to uncertainty. So every time that they've made you feel bad about yourself, including days of silent treatment, this message that you weren't worth their time is the same message that you received growing up. So it's now being reinforced, even though that you think that it isn't. And you call them jerks under your breath, which they are actually. But because if it weren't, you wouldn't be fuming with resentment and anger and tears. If you didn't have those beliefs of self-worth, you would have walked long ago. But you're still here. You still have the beliefs, subconsciously. And the more that the narcissist calls you names or anything that leaves you feeling less than, the more stuck that you feel, the more afraid that you become of leaving. How am I going to make it on my own? And you can't find a way out. And even if you did, what if you ended up alone? The fears are there, and the fears are real. So what we need to do here is we need to create new beliefs. That's the power. We undo the old that's been causing havoc in our lives, and we change to new ones. But they have to be repeated for a time. In the context of accepting new beliefs, repetition paves the way for the brain to perceive patterns and identify connections that reinforce those beliefs. When we encounter a consistent message repeatedly, it starts to form a pattern in our minds. And this pattern triggers a cognitive response that leads to familiarity and acceptance, making the brain more likely to embrace the new belief. So once the new belief is accepted into the brain, the person changes. It becomes automatic, which in turn changes the environment to way better experiences. So good things start to show up because the vibration of the new beliefs attract better circumstances. You're resonating at a higher vibration. And this is all backed up by science. So what could have been an experience that, for example, you can't get out of a financial situation suddenly finds a way. The perfect job seemingly out of the blue shows up and you don't even need a babysitter because you can do the job from home. When it comes to accepting new beliefs, the brain seeks patterns that are coherent and consistent with existing knowledge. And I hope I'm not boring you with all this stuff because this is really important for you. Introducing new ideas in a repetitive and patterned manner aligns with the brain's natural inclination towards familiarity and order, making it easier for a new belief to be integrated into our existing belief system. Moreover, repetition and pattern recognition tap into the brain's natural tendency to prefer stability and minimize uncertainty. So changes in beliefs and perspectives can be unsettling and the brain instinctively resists them. So that's why the repetition is so important. By presenting new beliefs in a repetitive manner, the brain gradually becomes more familiar with those new ideas, reducing the initial resistance and increasing the likelihood of acceptance. And so the brain relies absolutely on repetition and patterns to accept new beliefs. By repeatedly exposing ourselves, see, I'm repeating myself here. So by repeatedly exposing ourselves to ideas and presenting them in a coherent and consistent manner, we allow our brain to build stronger neural connections and recognize patterns. I have a free MP3 hypnosis session that anyone can grab on my channel, and I'll leave the link down below. And this session is created or was created for exactly that, to change the beliefs. And again, it's about repetition. You have to be willing to change in order to do this. You have to be willing to take responsibility to do the work if you want it to work. I mean, I have these clients that come for hypnosis wanting their lives to change. They want better relationships. They want confidence or a better job. But they'll come back the following week where I asked them if they did their sessions twice daily like I asked. And I get responses like, well, I did it twice on Wednesday, but on Thursday I had this thing going on, so I only did it once. And then it was the weekend, and you know how that goes, right? Weekends are very busy. So I did it a couple of times, but not always twice daily or not every day. They want the magic pill. They want me to be the magic pill. I am not a magic pill. I am a facilitator. So needless to say, in these circumstances, nothing changes for them. However, those who do the work and do listen twice daily for 3 weeks, which is usually the approximate time that it usually takes for the brain to accept and for them to see results, then they get to see the magic. Their lives change. So if we want to be free from narcissistic abuse, we have to be willing to be the change. We have to stop expecting for the narcissist to come around and finally see their ways, because they won't. And you are going to continue to be miserable, hoping that one day things will be good, which they won't until you step up. Only we are responsible for ourselves. If we're giving somebody else that responsibility, we're giving them the power to control our minds. Think about that. Then they have the power to make us feel bad about ourselves at the flip of a switch, which is what they've been doing. Whenever they feel bad and they need supply, all they have to do is make us feel bad about ourselves. That's control. We give them the power not only to ruin our days, but reinforce the worthlessness that we already feel inside. What you choose to believe becomes true for you. And if you're really wanting to do the work, I highly, highly, highly recommend the book Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I'll leave the link down below. It is life-changing, and it'll help you understand more of what I'm talking about here. Choose thoughts that you want and become that. We tend to treat ourselves the way our caregivers treated us. So if they ignored us, we ignore us too. We don't stand up for ourselves. And telling the narcissist off when the narcissist is mistreating us in some way is not standing up for self. walking away is. And no longer putting up with abuse is when we truly stand up for self. So let's take a moment here to take some inventory on what we believe about ourselves. Number one, I am not good enough. How many of you can relate to that one? I don't deserve success. I'm not capable of achieving my goals. I'm a failure. I am powerless and cannot change my circumstances. Leave a comment down below and let me know which beliefs that you have. I'm too old or too young to accomplish anything significant. I'm not smart enough. I'll never find true love or happiness. I'm a victim of circumstances and have no control over my life. I'll always be stuck in my current situation. That's one belief that many of us have. I'm not talented enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of love and acceptance. I'll never be successful. I'm not attractive enough. I'm not deserving of good things. I don't have what it takes to achieve my goals or my dreams. I'm incapable of making a decision. I don't have any valuable skills or talents. I'm destined to be alone and unhappy. I mean, look deeply if that is a belief inside of you. I mean, it might not be in here, but it might be in here, in the body. I'm not capable of overcoming challenges or obstacles. Many of our beliefs are unconscious and inherited from society, culture, family, and past experiences. These beliefs often limit our potential and they keep us stuck in patterns of fear, doubt, and negativity. So by becoming aware of these limiting beliefs and actively questioning their validity, we can start to shift our perception and open ourselves up to new possibilities. So here are some techniques and practices to change our beliefs. Number one, self-inquiry and introspection. By questioning our beliefs and examining their origins, we can gain insight into their validity and consciously decide whether to keep them or to let them go. Intention is powerful. So grab pen and paper, make tea, give yourself the space. I can't say that enough. We're giving all of our time to the narcissist. Give yourself that space and write out your beliefs. Where did each one of them come from? And do your best. We don't always know all of them. And now ask yourself if it's true. Is it true that you don't deserve love? Is it true that you're an awful person? Is it true that you're bad? And then if you've done awful things in the past, was it intentional? Were you not doing the best that you could at the time? Can you forgive yourself? I think I want to do a video eventually on forgiveness, actually. But anyway, you get the drift. Number two, affirmations and positive self-talk. Repeating positive statements or affirmations can help reprogram the subconscious mind and replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. So look at the list that I just mentioned and pick the ones that really resonate with you, and you can also use your own. I encourage you to do that. So you want to write them down on one side of your sheet of paper, and then next to each statement, I want you to write the opposite of that and then make that your new affirmation. So here's an example. I am powerless and cannot change my circumstances. Change that to every day and in every way I am becoming more and more powerful. Within me is the power to change my circumstances. You have to make it believable for you. And you make it believable where you not only just say the affirmations, but you feel good saying it. Bringing the emotions in it amplifies the effect with way faster results. And then I also recommend that you pull out that video, that link that I left down below with the hypnosis, and do that twice daily for the next 3 weeks. It's loaded with affirmations. And by the way, my voice might not work for you. Everyone's different because my voice is a little bit commanding. So if that's the case, just go to YouTube and look for one that resonates with you, and then do that one twice a day for 3 weeks, or however long you feel they need to do so, but do it at least 3 weeks. Got to do the work if you want the changes. Number 3, gratitude and positive focus. Cultivating a mindset of gratitude and focusing on positive aspects of life can shift and does shift our perspective, and it reinforces new positive beliefs. So every morning, I want you to write down 10 things that you're grateful for. Do this every morning, and during the day, stop for moments here and there to smell the flowers. And again, what do you appreciate? What are you grateful for? Look around for beauty. Beauty raises our frequencies, because when we look at beauty, we're in appreciation. When we're in appreciation, we are in gratitude. And lastly, surrounding ourselves with supportive people. Being in the company of those who uplift and inspire us can help reinforce and solidify new beliefs. So if there are any codependency groups in your area, please join them. And if not, you can always do these Al-Anon meetings, because they deal with codependency issues also. Changing your environment and seeing new people can and does raise your energy field. Changing our beliefs is an ongoing process requiring awareness, patience, and self-compassion. So by intentionally working on transforming our beliefs, we can open ourselves up to new possibilities, enhance our overall well-being, and expand our consciousness. So that's it for today. So now it's your turn to get going. I bid you farewell, and we shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.